Reb Beach, you got a new album, A View from the Inside, and let me tell you, from what I've heard, it sounds great. It's awesome, just plain and simple. I mean,
Thanks. Thank
if
you.
I can say it like that. Let's say going with guitar tones and stuff. Have you experienced much different tones in this one versus what you did in the
Nope.
past? It's always going from the same thing.
Zero. It's the exact same tone I always have. It's completely not different. It's the same guitar and the same amp, and I don't use any effects. It's just I'm just right into the amp, and I add a little bit of delay later. But that's it. It's just the same tone I've always had for 30 years.
So let's say you're with White Snake and all that, your same guitar tone always.
Yeah, it's just guitar into an amp with distortion on it. Usually it's either my Sir head or the Marshall that's Sir modded for me.
Something that's interesting is your artwork. Where did you get the idea on making this?
I had a guy do the artwork and I wasn't happy with it. It was just kind of pictures of me and I wasn't digging it. I wanted something kind of in space. And I liked the idea of an eyeball because it's a view from the inside. So I said, give me an eyeball in space, and that's what the guy did.
Right,
and he did a great job. It'd be a good T-shirt for sure. I got to print those up. So, I set out to make an instrumental record that's really listenable, that is almost like someone singing,
Right.
like you need melodies that stay with you. And you need to connect emotionally to it. That's what I was going for. So I'm hoping that I get, some listeners that hear it and, spread the love, and maybe it'll do well. You never know. Just never know.
And also, finding titles for songs because you don't have lyrics and stuff like that. Is it all inspirational and feelings, to deliver a title?
It's what the song. Yeah, it's what the song makes you feel like is the way you do it. The only one I didn't do that with was Aurora Borealis. That song was like an Irish jig, and it was originally titled Finnegan's Wake because I Googled what do you call an Irish jig, and
Right.
it came up Finnegan's Wake. But I hated that name, and I went to Rod Morgenstein, who's the drummer in Winger, and played it for him and said, well, what can I name this song? Needs a better name. And he thought for a second and said Aurora Borealis. And I said, well, I like that name. That's a fine name. It doesn't sound like this song at all, but it's a nice name. And what the hell? It's an instrumental record. I can call it whatever I want.
Right.
Call it, Reese's Pieces. Doesn't matter.
How's life treating you, with COVID-19 and all that silly stuff?
Oh, man, I'm making the best of it, just like, my friends are, doing whatever you can to kind of pay the bills. And I've been getting into the guitar lesson thing, like my buddy Joel Hoekstra and Doug Aldrich and all the guys are doing it. And I'm really loving it. I'm really a lot. Most of the time, like 98% of the time, it's just super enjoyable. And I mostly just talk to people all over the world, in Japan and Australia and you name it, UK. And they love to talk. They just want to hear stories of the road. I have one couple that doesn't even play guitar. They just like me to tell stories to them once a week. We just talk. And I have another guy who's done 34 lessons, and him and I are actual just friends now. Like, I don't even charge him anymore. We just, I actually call him on the phone now and ask him advice. He's like a really good guy. We just became friends.
Wow.
So it's been a great experience, really. And I've learned so much on the guitar. I learned a Phrygian scale the other day, even though I already knew it, I didn't know what it was called.
Okay. It's like that when you do practice and rehearse with other people and teach them lessons, and you learn from all sides.
Yeah, no, some of the guitar players that I'm giving lessons to are leaps and bounds better than I am on the instrument. And were able to just show me something, happens all the time, actually. So I've become a better guitar player. And I'm not used to playing guitar every day. I never play guitar. It's like, I only do it when I'm working, like when I'm out on the road or, writing, but that's not, you're not practicing. I just never practice. But with these lessons, I'm playing, 4 hours a day.
And do you find that the generation today going for lessons, like let's say younger guys or girls, they're learning differently than what we used to do, maybe like 20 years ago, 30 years ago?
No, I mean, the way that I learned is I just played along with records, and that's what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
They're into playing along with the albums. It's a little harder because they get their albums from YouTube, and a lot of times YouTube will detune the song. Like the person who posted will detune it so that you won't be infringing on the copyright. It won't be the original master recording because it's tuned differently. This is what somebody told me anyway, and certainly they are tuned a little bit differently, so it sucks to jam with.
Right.
Sometimes.
It makes it really hard for a beginner to start learning correctly how to play it if it's like that.
Right. No, they have to buy the album, which they don't want to do.
Yeah. Who's playing on your instrumental rock album? Who's all the musicians?
It's the drummer I've been using for years, Dave Throckmorton. He played on my 2003 solo album called Masquerade, which I'm very proud of. And I sang on that one. And he's like my favorite drummer in the world, and he plays in the Reb Beach project. Then I needed a bass player, and my friend said, check out Philip Bino, who plays with Steve Vai. So I called him up. I saw him on YouTube, and was like, he's perfect. I needed like a funk guy. And so he was happy to do it. He did a great job, kicked ass on it. And then I did a few songs with my friend, bass player here, who plays in the Red Beach Project, John Hall. Kip Winger knew a keyboard player named Paul Brown, who was an authentic B3 organ and, clavinet, all of these 70s keyboard sounds guy. And he played on the record and gave it that kind of Jeff Becky vibe from the 70s. So that's exactly what I was looking for.
Wow, awesome stuff. And, what's the big weekend for you like?
This weekend?
Yeah, how's your schedule looking? As being busy?
Actually, I'm glad not to have lessons this weekend. It's Halloween, so I'll take the granddaughter out, and wipe off all the candy when she's done getting it from the houses. And then I'm going to watch football. I'm going to watch the Steelers take on the Baltimore Ravens. It's Sunday at 1 with a hangover.
With a hangover, that's awesome.
Well, I mean, we'll probably all go back and party at, my daughter's house afterwards. Just the four of us.
Right on. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me today, and with your busy schedule doing lessons and all that stuff. And A View from the Inside, great album.
Oh, thank you so much. It's so great to hear. I really appreciate it a lot.
Well, you have a good one.
Okay, you too.
Thank you.